Hi everybody, I'm just going live on Facebook. I've chosen to go live on the director's page, but that will can be shared. But I just thought I've got your feedback from everybody that it's just so much better to be visual. So go ahead, I'm here saying hi, but at the same time I'll be looking at my screen and checking in with everything that's happening in your place over there in the head office, Lorena. Thank you very much for saying hi. I look forward to having you on the call today as a speaker.
And Chuck, I've unmuted your line, so feel free to jump in.
Well, Chuck, I just want to welcome you onto the call. The other day, it was fantastic. I was online and suddenly Chuck chimed in to say hi to everybody in Region 3 that he'd missed you all. And I realized, gosh, I've got the pleasure and benefit of being able to check in with the head office all the time, but so many of our long-term consultants that know Chuck personally haven't been able to meet with him for a long time because he was down under for the last Sensi family reunion in Queensland. So I said to him, would he like to just say hello to everybody today? So I'm thrilled and delighted to have Chuck on the call. And welcome to you, Chuck. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully, can you guys hear me? Well, I assume you can.
Yes, we can.
Oh, good. No, it's one of these where you guys, I still think of you all the time, like my own kids and my sisters and everything from all that time I spent thinking 24/7 about you, and I get kind of jealous of Tracey getting to be down there and all of that. So I just said, hey, would you mind if I came on a little bit and just gave a quick shout out to everybody and maybe give you some thoughts about what I was thinking about lately. But it's one of these things where I fortunately watch a lot more than I'm able to comment back, and man, your success is extremely important to me, and your feeling of connected to all of us here around the world is very important to me, and so I watch and look at any way I can to support you guys. And I know you probably have a really busy call, but I wanted to give you just 2 seconds if I can, Tracey.
Go ahead. Love to hear anything you'd like to share.
Thinking about, this is all consultants, right? Not leadership, but
all
some
consultants.
Some of this might be a little bit of a leadership thing.
Go ahead.
One thing about business, it's funny about a direct selling business. A lot of times, because it's so easy to get into, we don't look at it as a quote unquote real business. And I just want you guys to know that I believe within all my heart that it is absolutely a real business. And just because it can be easy to get into doesn't mean that it shouldn't be treated as a real business. And sometimes there are ups and downs. And I was trying to figure out kind of an analogy thing, because we have fantastic, October, November, December sales, because that's when retail sales are huge. And a lot of times people can get discouraged in January and February and things like that. Although apparently you're not discouraged in February because you're having a great start, and I'm sure Tracey will go into that. But I was driving around, and right now up here it's the middle of winter. We have about 2 feet of snow on the ground, 3 feet of snow on the ground. And at the corner, the intersection where our building is, on one of the other corners, is a car wash. And I got thinking about it going, you know what? Those car wash guys, I don't know why they don't just shut down completely in the winter, because nobody goes and washes their car. It's nothing like in the summer where there's cars going all the time. And so I got looking at them, and I watched, and I realized that when it's slow like this, they do a lot of maintenance on their equipment so that in the summertime they don't have breakdowns. And I think in our business, in the industry we're in, a lot of times these slower months are a time to be positive and work on your equipment, which is sponsoring and getting your systems in place and maybe doing a little bit deeper dive in training, and obviously still building up your sales skills, but having that sort of expectation that it might be difficult for me to have sales like I have 2 weeks before Christmas as everyone's trying to get gifts. But it's not a reflection on the quality of your business or the health lot better things to say than that for me, but I can't wait to get down there to see you guys again at the next reunion or those that are going on the incentive trip. And I'm here for whatever you guys ever need. So just want to say that. I miss you guys like crazy, and I'm just glad you're part of my Sensi family.
Well, thank you very much, Chuck. It was wonderful to speak with you. It's always great to just be connected in person, and we'll look forward to meeting you down here in towards the end of the month of the year. But what you just said is so true. I actually love to call that time of year Janemba, because for us here, it's our summer vacation like you guys have in your July, August. But for us as Region 3, we really do go to sleep. That's a difficult one because we love our summer holidays here. And it tends to be sort of that we have to do a month's work in 2 weeks of December and 2 weeks of January. And even those last 2 weeks of January, everybody's out holidaying and it's hard to wake them up. But we certainly woke them up with world premiere. We're certainly on track for the first week of February. And as tough as it is, as you say, we've got to look to doing business differently. And so I love Janemba time because everyone's pretty relaxed, and it's a perfect time of year to talk to people about joining because they've been in a very social situation for weeks at a time. But at the same time, we're all waking up here. School's just gone back this week, and it should show us that we can all get back to our routines. So I thank you for those words of wisdom, and it's just great to have you on the call today. And I know it's evening time for you, family time, so we'll let you go, and we'll carry on, but we'll make sure that we get you on a leadership call soon.
Hey, Tracey, so down there, do they have those great, so up here they have really great commercials right around back to school time? Where like the store that sells all the books and the supplies and things like that, they show these kids kind of dragging into the store, and they show the parents just celebrating because school's back in session.
You're right.
Those are my favorite commercials.
The first time.
I just always look forward to when my kids went back to school after a long summer break.
That's so true. It seems to be that every person I'm speaking to lately seems to be making that comment as well. They love the kids, but after 6 weeks of looking for things to do, they're just delighted to get back into routine. Everyone's sort of gung-ho, so they're poised and ready for a big February, which is fantastic. So thank you.
See you guys.
All the best, Chuck. Okay. So I've got someone asking me, Tracey, can you invite viewers to join live video on screen guests? Swipe left to see who's available now. Well, I'll just put that one out there to everybody. I'm just trying to manage keeping Lorena happy on the screen here and my guests that are waiting to be called, so I'll leave it to you because I'm just going to post this later. But it was really just done so that later on people had a bit of a visual. So we'll try to marry it all in somehow. Okay, and thanks for all the hearts and the likes. It's just shown me greatly that our viewing has gone up enormously to beam this out through Facebook. And I thank Lorena for everything she does because she's marrying it all together. So I'm going to now pass over to Lorena, and we have, I'll put the picture on the screen as well because she's presented some slides, and I've just asked her to put together the huge amount of promotions that are happening at the moment. So over to you, Lorena. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracey. We have a lot of things going on this month. It's February's transition month, and so we're trying to get ready for the next new stuff coming in.
Is that working?
Is the new catalog, and so there's things to go through. So I always recommend that you go to your news tab. All of this information's in the news tab, but I recommend that you always go to your news tab.
This is what I'm trying to do.
Just to be on top of things so that you have the most current information when you're speaking to your customers, then you can relay that information to them. So let's start with the diffuser special because, hello, we have beautiful diffusers, and guess what? Everything is 10% off this month for transition, including diffusers. But we've got that fabulous diffuser special right now. You get 3 oils and a diffuser, and they are specific oils. And the list of the oils, again, on the news tab, if you look at the news article, you'll see which oils there are. But people love our diffusers because, number one, they're beautiful, and number two, lifetime warranty. And so you want to just share these great products with your customers. So go check that out. The other big thing that's coming our way, again, in the news tab, are the changes to critical that if you started prior to March 1, those consultants will fall under the old or the existing guidelines, and then starting in March, consultants joining March 1 will fall under the new guidelines. So just to be aware, we know people were already in there. We weren't going to just change it mid-course. But the big news is transition. Okay, it's 10% off, tons of stuff in there. I know catalogs are on sale, new catalogs and existing catalogs, and testers, and can we say supersized starter kit for people that join Sensi this month. Not only are they going to get the existing spring-summer testers, but they're also going to get the fall-winter testers, those supersized kit. Who wouldn't want the extra fun wax in their starter kit, okay? We're going to have a bonus training call on 15th February, so I believe it is a week from today. My goodness, no, week from tomorrow. Where we're going to go through and do a catalog log, talk about some of the new products coming your way. I'm not sure who's going to be on that call with Tracey, but we're going to work on that. But that call is coming here. We're going to do these bonus calls for all regions, all markets. So if you have people in other markets on your team, you're going to want to let them know to look for that bonus training call, because we're going to do them in all regions, all markets. And there is a sad thing about transition is there is a discontinued list. And you try to look at it the positive way, right? If it's discontinued, it's because they're making room for fabulous new things, right? New warmers, new fragrances, new products, and that's exciting. But I watch the Facebook pages. I understand my friends in Region 3 are lamenting things like Quiver laundry products going away and Zen garden products going away, laundry products going away. So I feel your pain, because I was pretty upset when Quiver left Region 1 as well. But there is a way to take that discontinued list and turn it into a positive. And so if you'll indulge me here, just quickly, I want to show you how you can take the discontinued list and turn that into something that will work for you. So here's the discontinued list. This is the one for Region 3. It's got the warmers. There's the diffuser going away. I have that diffuser shade, by the way. And it lists the bars. It lists all the products, all the laundry products are at the bottom. We won't talk about that right now. But these are the items that come March 1 will no longer be available. And if you've been a consultant for a while, you know you're going to get a call on March 3rd from somebody saying, oh my gosh, I need a bar of Forever Yours, and it's going away because it's here on the list. So I want you to use this as a way to reach out to your customers, and I'm going to show you a way to do that. So if you go into your workstation, you'll see right there, here's your workstation, and you're going to go into the Orders tab of your workstation, and you're going to click on that, and it brings you to this page here, right? And this is your order history. It gives you pending orders and parties, but there's that first button that says Order History. And in the search box, you can search by item. So I've chosen Sparkling Black Palm. That's another fragrance that's going away. And you may have customers that absolutely love Sparkling Black Plum. So I'm going to show you how to reach out to them. So you're going to type in Sparkling Black Plum. Maybe it's Quiver, or maybe it's Zen Garden, or whatever item that is that you're looking for. You can do this with all the items in the discontinued list. You're going to put it in the box, and you're going to click search. And what's going to happen, instead of all of your orders coming up, you're going to get it to look like this, where only the orders where Sparkling Black Plum were purchased, those orders are going to show up here for you. Now you've got 9 orders here. There's 1 through 9. So for an example, we're going to dive into this first order here that says Angie's Party, and we're going to click View, and it's going to take you to, your receipt page. But if you scroll down and look through all the orders, you're going to find an order here for our friend Lana, and I've blocked out all these information. But you'll see that Lana ordered the Sparkling Black Plum Sensi Bar. This is a great way to call her and ask her how she loves Sparkling Black Plum. Did she know it was going away? And liking her bars, loving her fragrances, and then let her know that not one, just one, but 4 of the bars that she placed on her last order are going to be discontinued. And if she loves them, this would be the time to order them. It's not a high-pressure sales, get her to buy 3 of each bar so she has them. This is that relationship building. This is that customer service. You're making her aware that these bars are going away, and if she absolutely loves them, she has until February 28th, because we don't know if they'll be back in 6 months. So this is a way to go in and do this. And again, you can do this with all the items on the discontinued list, the different fragrances. It may be bars, it may be car bars, it may be, different laundry products for those items that are going away. But you could do this with all of those products, and it gives you a reason to reach out to your customers. Display great customer service. Let them know that their favorite items are going away, and see if there's something that you can do to help them. So that's my little quick training for today. So I just wanted to share that with you. And Tracey, I think I can turn it back over to you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. And here I am trying to be a cameraman, and it's really been jerking around, so I'm sorry about that. It made people sick watching it, because I was trying to type at the same time. That's a classic, isn't it? And I must just ask Lorena if she can connect Glennis, because I know she's been writing to me, and I had my hands holding the camera. So I know, Glennis, while we're offline for the moment, that Lorena can reach out and sort out your line for you. We'd love you to be on talking if you are available today. So I just wanted now to carry on about world premiere. I know I'm speaking to so many people who may be listening to this as a recording later, but it was just outstanding. It's our first time at doing it. As you know, we had world tour for those that maybe be in the business longer than a year, and we're just growing so big now that it's just too hard to be able to expect Heidi and Orville and all the HO team to be around the world, every city and country, so many times a year. And I think this idea has just been incredible to be able to live stream it, and we'll only get better and better. The first time that we've done it, which was to go through the cinemas, sure, we may have had some technology issues with microphones and so forth. We trust everybody was patient on those counts. But in the main, the feedback has just been exceptional. Pretty much everybody loved being together, the buzz, the excitement to kick off the year, and the content was outstanding. It has been designed with new consultants in mind. So you may be listening to this call as a brand new consultant and loved your 6 skills of training that you can start with straight away. 6 skills of success. It may be that you've been in the business a while and it was fantastic to go back to basics. I had such wonderful response from the content, the role playing, and just the hands-on experience of being able to go back to the party plan basic skills. So obviously it's just the beginnings of what we could create through doing events like that. And I loved having everybody's feedback and support. And with that doing so, I want to say firstly a huge thank you to all the site leaders, both in Australia and New Zealand. You did an outstanding job. That was fantastic. And particularly not knowing what to expect. I mean, we're all just working together in that regard. So thank you to all those. Thank you to all the incredible helpers. There were so many. I can't name them all today, but I did put it out there through Facebook as much as possible to thank all the helpers that made the energy and the excitement wonderful. Now, with that in mind, I wanted to ask those that were passionate and enthusiastic to be on our call today to share and drill down, because some of those little cameos were just a 5-10 minute piece, and each one of those skills you could drill down for ages and really talk on for an hour. So with that in mind, I've invited for the rest of our training call to be speaker based. Now, if it's they don't have slides and they're just speaking, I'd ask them if they can, they were welcome to go live on their own Facebook page and then later post their segment so that we can review it just through Facebook. And I'll see if that works. But if not, it'll just be me sitting here listening in. However, I also wanted to, something very remiss of me when we opened the call was to say, Happy Waitangi Day to all of the New Zealanders that are listening in. That was yesterday, of course. It was a regular day here in Australia, but we had our turn last week. So I hope you had lovely family time with your friends and family, out enjoying a day off and a long weekend. Welcome to all the Kiwis that are on the call. And so I want to now invite the first speaker. I'm going to suggest that Glenys goes towards the end so we know we have definitely got her on the line. Glenys was going to be speaking on the wonderful new product training guide, which I think is outstanding. So I'll hold on that thought. But I know that Sophie Fenn, who'd been an amazing helper with Mim Nikaj down in Melbourne, just loved all the presentation skills. So are you there live at the moment that I can speak to you, Sophie? Have we opened up your line? Not yet? Here's Sophie. No rush, no rush. So,
Hello?
Sophie, as a director, I know that you have had a wealth of experience in the business and you had all your teams there. Just love to get your thoughts on what you wanted to share with us, the take-homes you got from the World Premiere Day. Go ahead.
You can all hear me?
Yes, can hear you well.
Okay. So today I just wanted to have a little bit of a quick, bit of an expansion on the presenting topic from the 6 selling skills that we heard about. And if you don't know what they are, I'll just quickly go through them. They were prospecting, booking, coaching, presenting, follow-up, and sponsoring. And I'm sure everyone who was helping out on the day could talk on all of them for ages. But I just wanted to talk a little bit on presenting, because there's a few things in there that I do and that I teach my team to do that didn't really get covered. One second, I've got to get my note up. There it is. So I actually spoke to Kat Bruno about the 6 selling skills, and she gave me some percentages from the leadership training in New York, and they are this. 55% of our communication is non-verbal, so how you look, how you act. 7% are the actual words we speak, and 38% is the tone of your voice and how you're coming across to everyone. So it really, really matters about how you walk into that room when you are meeting your host and when you're going to give your presentation for your customers, for your guests at that party. And so with me, I'm constantly evolving my presentation and my display and how I do everything. Every party is different because every host is different, but I'm basically, every time I do a presentation, I'm finding the things that work and tucking them into the jigsaw, and I'm picking out the pieces that don't work so well. So my presentation always changes, and I think a lot of people will find that as well. But one thing for me is I get extremely nervous, and it's really hard for me to stand up in front of people or talk in front of people, but I'm constantly trying to overcome that and beat that. And it's crucial for me because if I stand up in front of a presentation and look really nervous and I get really shaky, which happens sometimes, my customers and the guests at that party might think I'm a bit of an idiot, or they might not take much notice, which does happen. So it really matters on how you present yourself. And one thing I do to help with my nerves is I do the Superwoman or Superman pose. So before I get out of my car at a party, I might look like a bit of a weirdo out in my car for the host, but I stand up or I sit up tall with my legs as straight as I can get them with my hands on my hips and my chin up, and I do 3 minutes of Superwoman pose. And what this does is it actually raises your testosterone and it lowers your cortisol in your brain. And basically, it means you are calmer and more confident. And there is scientific studies that back this up, and I can post links later.
What can you just tell me what you said it was called?
And I find that it helps. And I also practice. So practicing and honing your craft. So I don't know if Tracey can hear me. I can see her talking on the page. But, so you practice. Practice setting up, practice your presentation, and practice packing away. And you've got to hone in those skills. The next thing is to be friendly with every person who walks into that room. I like to still be setting up the very last of my display when people are arriving, so I have the opportunity to talk with them while I'm setting up before we go official. So I like to try and get to know them, ask them questions if I don't already know them. I like to listen in on all the conversations that are going on with the guests that already know each other. And I ask little questions here and there to help me gauge each guest. So you're constantly looking out for little sparks of information from those people. So if you see someone who's pointing at the brand new cream diamond shade going, oh my God, I love that. How awesome is that? You can keep that in your mind and know that you've got potential sale. If someone's saying, oh my God, I really love that diffuser, but I just don't think I have $200, there's a little spark for a hot host lead. So you can potentially talk to them later, well, not potentially, you will go and talk to them later about potentially hosting a party so that they can get that for half off or with their credit. You've constantly got to be keeping an eye out and looking for things. And there's other things too, like someone might say, oh my God, the kids have gone back to school. Thank goodness I now have time for extra things. I want to catch up with some friends. Boom, you've got a spark for a party. I want to go on a holiday, but we just can't afford it. Boom, you've got a host spark because, not a host spark, a join spark, because if you can talk to them about the incentive trip, I myself love to talk about the incentive trip because they're the only reason I get to go on holidays. You've got these little things that you can look out for, and you've got to be constantly keeping an ear out for them and keeping them in your brain, even if you have to jot little notes down on a piece of paper to go back to later on when you're talking to each guest for their orders. Okay. So the next crucial thing with parties, you have to know your product. There is no point showing things off if you know nothing about them. So, for example, if you have never used the hand soap, you won't know that it's really thick and that you only need a tiny little bit to wash your hands. If you've never used the laundry liquid, you don't know how concentrated it is and that it's a really great stain remover. If you've never used the kitchen soap, you don't know all these extra things like that you can use it in your mop bucket to wash your floors or that it's really great for cleaning toilets. So you've got to get to know your product. That is a huge part of presenting, even though it's not directly associated with it. You've got to be able to share the love for the products that you love. You've got to be able to share your tips so that people know you know what you're talking about. And you've got to be able to refer people to certain things. If you can't make recommendations, they're not going to come back to you because you won't know what you're talking about and they will know it. So asking the host what she wants to see is another huge thing. If they're really keen on the laundry range, make sure you know about it, about all the things laundry, and take some samples for each person to give out for that range. Because you can say, look, my host, he just loves the black raspberry washer with, so I thought I'd give everyone a little free sample, hand them out, and that gives you a touching point later for follow-up, so you can call them and say, hey, what did you think of your black raspberry washer with? Things like that. So this, I see CMAC saying this all the time. Don't be really pushy and hard selling. Use this little thing that she says, and I just love it. The smelling does the selling, and it really does. You don't need to sell the product. You just need to show it. The actual fragrances will sell the product for you. So if someone just loves black raspberry vanilla, you get the jackpot. It comes in friggin' everything. Give them that to look at. And the last thing I want to talk about with presenting is don't be afraid to talk about bookings. People expect you to say something about bookings when you go to parties. And when I first done so many parties in my first year, I did not speak about bookings because I was too scared that people would think I was pushy. And it was all in my head. It wasn't in their head because they go to parties and they expect you to talk about it. So don't let them down. Talk about bookings and how much the host can get out of it. Those who went to World Premiere will have seen the Stack the Host game that they did. They basically got $75 worth of product and said this is what it looks like for the host to get $75 worth of product with this amount of sales at a party. It really puts that idea in people's heads that they can go, oh my goodness, this is all they did and that's what they got for free and they're getting half prices. It can really change the game when it comes to your parties. And don't be afraid to talk about the joining opportunity. Don't be afraid to talk about why you join, why you love Scentsy, and what you have achieved and want to achieve. Bless them with the opportunity to join. Don't keep it to yourself because you never know who is looking for that little bit of extra cash to save up for a new car or who wants to make new friends because they're in a new town and they don't know anyone, which was my circumstance when I moved here and joined Scentsy. You just never know what people are looking for, and you're planting those seeds in their heads that they may then go on to see your taking on a holiday when you go on the incentive trip. So those are the crucial points that I wanted to talk about with presenting, because everyone can get the gist of how a presentation can be done from the training centre if you look in there. But those are just a few different little perspectives that I wanted to share. So that's all from me, Tracey.
Well, if I can, am I unmuted now? Yep. Thank you so much. I really appreciated that. That content is brilliant. I mean, that's what we love, is all those drill down, detailed tips to success, because if people don't recognize that these are sometimes makes the big difference. You can show up to a party, but if you don't orchestrate it and you don't realize that everything you do is with intention for an outcome, then you don't have your antennas up, as I say. You've got to have those antennas up all the time, zoning in on what people are giving out there as their little tips. And I just believe doing commercial breaks is my key word. You know, you just need to throw a little line out there that opens up a conversation so that you can pull in those great leads as well. So you're not only orchestrating it from what you say, but you're picking up on the cues that they say. So, Sophie, thank you. You're an ace in the business. I really value your input. It was outstanding. Thank you very much. And I know you loved the day. So onward and upward for your team. And so now I'd just like to check in with Lorena just to perhaps have Rachel Lensman, who I know is waiting on the call as well. And Rachel had an outstanding day over in Adelaide. So I thank you. If you're available now to start on what you'd like to present, Rachel. I know you said it was also something similar to what Sophie said, which was knowing your why and how, and going back to basics, what you loved about the day. So if that's a lead-in, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thanks, Tracey. Hi, everybody. This is my first go, so be kind to me. I hope I do you all a credit. As Tracey said, I presented in Adelaide, and it was a wonderful opportunity. And while we were a small group, I'm sorry, I've got tradies going on in the background, so if there is some background noise, I apologise. So while we were a small group in Adelaide, myself and Jess Richardson were really enthusiastic to share that we left a big footprint, that there's a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of drive, and I think high expectations for ourselves and each other. And I think it really reflects in how the company's shaped the new product training guide and these 6 key principles on how to grow ourselves and our businesses and focusing on our strengths and guiding us how to do that. And I think, as Tracey just said, it's remembering to go back to basics. Our consultant guide, has all the things that we need. It's a toolbox, and we just, I suppose, sharpening those tools. But it's about personalising them, and I think a lot of, especially new consultants, are maybe a little bit scared to step out of their comfort zone. So while using those guides, we can recreate them to share and be authentic. And that's a big thing for me. Right from the start, it was about being genuine, and that's about being authentic. You can't share a product, as Sophie said, if you don't know what it's like to use it. So, the companies listened to the consultants, and one thing that I'm mindful of when consultants are starting out, and they may be a little bit hesitant, yes, we've got everything we need in our first kit. But to step out of that comfort zone and explore the different products and become familiar with them, there's these little samples that we can purchase to add to our toolkit. And so that gives us an opportunity to share with that customer that might express an interest. We're able to explore the variety in the ranges, take those samples, offer them as opportunities for those customers to take away and have a think about it. And then, the 222, contact them, make that contact, have that genuine conversation, because you've already got a starter. They created an in for you by showing an interest in a product. You could share what your comfortable because it was a genuine conversation. You're more relaxed because the flow in the room is about sharing and about being in everybody's comfort zone, and that's when our products shine, because we are able to talk about the products that we're sharing with an authentic tone of voice and a presence, and it goes smoother. And one thing that I threw out to the crowd on our day was how many people have had that customer that have asked a question and we didn't have an answer, and it's so awkward and uncomfortable, and you don't know who's listening around you and what the impact of that is. As Sophie said, you need to be genuine. You need to be able to talk about it, but it doesn't necessarily need to be an overly expensive thing to be able to tap into all our different products. There's, as I said, going back to the companies listening to us and providing those resources to strengthen our toolkit and allow us to individualise and customise how we present ourselves, how we sell ourselves, how we shape our business. Because whilst we are representing the company, we're creating our own personal business. It's our own personal experience, and we can shape that, individualise it, customise it. And I was speaking to Tracey. One thing that really hit home for me also was the new resources to expand on our online party options. And Tracey asked me if I did online parties, and I'm guilty. I have not done one. And there's that hesitation, will it flow? Will I know how to put it together? Why do we question ourselves? Why do we doubt ourselves? The guides are there. It's a step-by-step. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, but yet we shy away from exploring these options. And I think, connecting with our teams and reassuring each other, keeping, that going back to basics and following the consultant guide, all the hints and tips and the new product training guide, tying it all together, but bit by bit expanding on that, pushing our boundaries, but we're in the safety of our own home. It's comfortable. Majority of us, we can still be in our PJs. We don't have to make irrevocable choices for our businesses that are going to be damaging. There's so much potential there, and we can do it in the comfort of our own home, in the comfort of our own time frame. And I think it's just that little bit of encouragement. So don't see it as, a handful of paperwork to read. See it as somebody tapping us on the shoulder and going, you can do it.
Well, that's fantastic.
So I hope that is inspiring for some people and makes sense, because, that the video on personalising, customising your online party, doing a little movie with your hostess. How much more personal can you get? Or doing a selfie. We're all big on the selfies. Let's promote ourselves. Don't shy away from trying something new. But we've got the security of everything's set there. The company guides us. It's nothing to be fearful of.
Well, thank you. That is just magic words. Thank you so much, Rachel, because I know when we spoke straight after world premiere how impressed you were. And you actually said at the time it's really inspired you with a new online landing page to really work with that. And that's my goal, is that the next call, and a few of our speakers couldn't make it today, and just as well in a way, because we got so much content that we would have gone well over the hour. So Megan Manley is going to speak on that next call for the all consultants. But at the same time, she gave me this little pearl of wisdom, which I loved in relation to what you just said, Rachel. And she said that what she does both online and booked, live parties. But she said the difference is that she prefers the face-to-face, because we're a scent business. It's got to be experiential, and so she can more easily get the orders quickly when she's at a live party. But she said when she does an online party, and that's what she's going to share with us, how she's perfecting moving that forward, is that people, when they connect with her through online, they're actually more likely to replace their product direct on her PWS because they've done it from the time they met her, whereas her face-to-face clients rely on her more. And of course, that's more work for us. But then she commented that the face-to-face business gets all local people, so she's so well known locally and it's easy to deliver and connect with people. But her online presence, why it's so important, is it's making business for her all throughout Australia and New Zealand. And what she loves about that is she's meeting people she would never have had the chance to meet through friends of friends of friends. So there's so much to be gained. We've got to be masters of it all. But thank you, because again, your content was from the heart, because I know you said how strongly you felt about it. So thank you for what you shared this morning, Rachel, or today.
Thank you.
Your time is still this morning over there in Adelaide. So thank you again. And I know that we've got Glynis Tobias all the way from Western Australia on the line. Lorena, has that worked out well for her to be able to go live now? So I'm hoping so. But because Glynis was going to be speaking on the product training guide. So is that going to work for her now?
I'm here.
Oh, terrific, Glynis. Over to you, because we've got 15 minutes remaining, but I do want to have Sinead speak. So if we go 5 minutes over, Sinead, don't you worry. I know you're listening in. I don't want you to miss out. You've gone especially the trouble of getting on the call too. I'll check in. Lorena can write to me if that's worked out. But Glynis, you had said to me that you were just so impressed with getting that product training guide. And what I loved about that is you said you're such a party planner. How are you going to work with that first up now that you've got this wonderful new document?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I wish they had something like this when I joined over 3 years ago. I had those little sticky note things I used to write my little notes on to remind me of the things I needed to know. But this is absolutely brilliant. A new consultant, I remember when I first started, every time I went to a party for the first 6 to 8 weeks, I told everybody I just started, so they were very forgiving if I made a mistake. And I used to say to them, if you ask me a question, I don't know the answer, I'll make sure I find it for you, I'll get it for you and get back to you. But this is brilliant, because a new consultant could take this with them and actually use it in a party demonstration when they first start. And people would not even worry about that, especially if they told them that they had just started. But for us that have been in it for a while, it is absolutely brilliant. First of all, I love the first 2 pages when Nancy talks about, their feelings, the mission, and what Nancy is all about. I think that's really important to know. It goes on to explain about that, as you go through this catalogue, or I'll call it the catalogue. They've got party tips, they've got trend alerts, they've got key differentiators, they've got did you know questions, and on the blog. And so as you go through the catalogue, and it goes through first expensive style, and then it goes through fragrances, each one of them, they've actually got the features and the benefits. They'll talk a little bit about what it is, then they'll talk about the features and the benefits. They'll give sales tips, the things that you can do. They'll have a did you know section just to, give you more information. And so it's just amazing. I just think that, even though we've been doing it for a long time, there's always something new that we can learn. And I think that, and it's also, if you go to a party, and even if you're giving out the information, if somebody has a question, it's going to be really good to just say, well, hang on a minute, look, I've just got this little product book here. Let's just have a look at this. And, you can just show them. It's all laid out for them, the features and benefits of all the different products. I'm a really big washer with laundry product fan, and in there, I just loved it when it said, like the party tip, it says, ask your party host if you can throw in a load of sheets and towels before you begin your product demonstration. I mean, some of us wouldn't even think to do that. Their house will smell amazing, and you'll have a talking point for the laundry product. So, there's lots of little tips and to do with sales and to do with having parties, like, what you can do at your parties that would be different than what you normally do. It's just full of so much information, and I'm so excited to use it. I will use it at every party that I go to. I like doing parties. I like to do quite a few home parties, and this I would not even be embarrassed or afraid to show this, even though it's a product training guide to somebody. And just say, look, this is the information I've got here. Write it at my fingertips.
And of course, it's fantastic for basket parties because these are the things you couldn't necessarily engage about. Oh, sorry, when I was saying it's fantastic for basket parties because then, you know, it's some great reading, wonderful visuals. And would you utilize it outside of a party? How will you be training with it in your live Sensi socials that you train?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to have I'm actually going to have training with my team on it because just to show them how to use it because I think it's very beneficial, and I think if we do use it, I mean, it's great for us. Sensi is giving it to us to help us with our businesses, and so if we don't use it, we're not utilising what they're giving us. We always want things from Sensi, and when they do give things to us, we need to be using them because they've obviously thought long and hard about how and what produced for us, and so they've obviously put a lot of thought into this, and I think that every one of us, no matter how long we've been in the business, should use it.
Well,
it's a great training tool, but it's also good to take to parties.
Yeah, it's outstanding. You know, when you think about, you know, stretching yourself and doing even the most newest consultant that might be in a remote area and just wants to get a couple of girls around the kitchen, you know, table or something to do some training, you know, you could be working on having a training tip every get together that you take from that and expand on it and talk about, and you don't feel so, you know, where do I begin when it comes to putting together a training content. So it's outstanding from that. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Like, you could take just one section of that each time you have a meeting and just use it as, you know, you might have a team meeting and have that as your main focus, like just one aspect of this catalogue, and, you know, you might be able to discuss diffusers, how we can present them, you know, talk about the benefits and the features, and you know, and then ask them, you know, around with the team, you know, their experiences, and you know, and I'm sure if we all share with, you know, what we do, and together with what's in this little catalogue, we can learn to improve how we present, you know, about diffusers or about whatever we're actually, you know, talking on. So it's a great topic. It's a great thing for topics for me, for your team meetings, because oftentimes we get together with team meetings and we think, well, now what can I do for them this time that's going to help them to progress or to help them, and this is a great guide.
Well, I know that you were just beside yourself with excitement when you saw this, and you were so passionate. And I'm turning the pages on the on Facebook as I'm, you know, recording it, and I'm still not at the end. It's just such a comprehensive tool, but it just means I know so many people have said to me that their diffusers, they always had to print a sheet and put it in with the diffuser so that their hosts and guests knew how to use it. And of course, it's all there now in this guide. So I think we've really covered it well. It's so self-explanatory, of course, but you're such a wise and experienced party planner that you would have created a lot of these type of tips in your parties, as you said yourself. And now for our new consultants, it's professionally produced and at their fingertips. So I really appreciate the fact that you felt so strongly to be on the call, Glenys. It's great to have you contribute. And was anything that we'd missed that was on your list that you wanted to share?
Well, the other thing I was just going to say too is, like, for example, you know, as you, if somebody orders something, you could probably, like, for example, if somebody ordered, let's say, like, you know, a diffuser or something like that, you could actually just photocopy just the section about diffusers in there, and then just include that in with it. You know, I mean, that's something that you can do. You don't have to give the whole book if you don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, because it's obviously to help us. But you know, where it's got like little tips and things of, you know, features and benefits, that's the section that you can actually give to the, you know, the customer when they've actually ordered something. So that's just something else that I probably will look at as I go along as well. Just photocopy the sections that I need out of it.
Oh, that's a great idea. Well, I thank you for your contribution today. I've been having fun trying to turn the pages as we go, and it was just so that everybody had a visual on the pages rather than on my face just staring into the camera. But I hope they're all hanging on every word, Glenys, because you were just outstanding and have so much to share. So thank you for your contribution and being on the call. We'll definitely connect again. And I know that in the remaining time, I still had a lovely lady, a director all the way from Townsville, who did a home host, and that is Sinead Davis. And Sinead absolutely loved her home host opportunity. When she first heard that there was going to be a chance to do that, she actually, here I am, I should come back to go. That's a bit confusing. I'm still showing Laundry Love. So here I'm introducing Sinead. But basically, what's been fantastic to have Sinead on the call is that she was one of our home hosts that just said it was just completely revitalising to her business. I won't take any of her thunder. I know that we've been able to connect her into the call, and I'd love to welcome you, as I said, all the way from Townsville, where it wasn't possible for her people to contribute, get on the plane, for example, very expensive to get to her closest site meeting. Not even possible to drive it, and so there you go. So Sinead, I know you're on, and I'll turn it over to you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, wow, I'm on. Oh, my God, man, technology. I struggle with technology. I know we're in an online business. This is my biggest struggle. I wanted to jump on and talk to you all about the value of going to events. Now, as Tracey just said, I'm not talking about events where I've spent hundreds of dollars to travel to Brisbane and get accommodation and buy the ticket to go. I simply had my team around. Like many of you, I've been struggling with the December, January downfall. So lots of people busy over the Christmas and New Year's break. Lots of people getting ready for school as well in January. Really, really struggled. The only thing that kept me going was my previous customers. I've been in the business for 3 years now. So my previous customers all know me as the Sensi lady, and that's forever who I'll be, which I'm fine with. But I was getting very downtrodden, or not even downtrodden, but I was just feeling very negative until world premiere. I simply had 10 were coming, but 2 pulled out of the last minute with 6 kids. But eight ladies and gentlemen around to my house from my team who watched world premiere with me. And to be able to bounce ideas back and forth, to be able to hug them. One lady was a guest as well. She says, "Oh, you're such a friendly lot." She was looking at the video and of all the events and people hugging and all that sort of stuff, and she commented on how friendly we are. And I said, "You have seen nothing until you've been to a Sensi family reunion," which I went to the last 2 years, which has been eye-opening for me. First year I went, very, very shy, went by myself basically. Had the time of my life. It was the first time I was away from my family. The next year I went, I was determined to grab all those shy people that I've seen sitting. So every shy person that was just by himself, I simply gave a hug and said, "Welcome to Sensi Family Reunion." It is a spiritual thing, to feel the love, to be able to bounce ideas off each other. Be able to simply say, "Hey, I've been going through the rough time just like you." It rejuvenated my spirit, and now I'm full into Sensi mode again. I love this time because from now until November, I am building up until I know that December and January are coming again. Therefore, I've built up enough of a base to get me through those 2 very hard months. Sorry, I'll waffle on a bit.
No, it's
again, this is the first time I've done this, so oh my God, my team know what I'm like. If you're even in an area, and you're on, I know I am as well, on a group page on Facebook, about the consultants in your area. So get on there and stretch your hand out. Say, "Hey, I would love to meet up with some ladies to bounce some ideas off." I mean, I would love to have people over or go to a coffee shop or simply go down the beach and just let the kids play, and we'll bounce ideas. We'll have a bit of a business meeting while we're down there. It's simply about the sisterhood and brotherhood of coming together and showing your Sensi spirit. It is a real thing, I swear. I've seen it in action. I just love it. So, thank you.
That's fantastic. And I'm just getting off mute there. Thank you so much, Sinead, because when you jumped on the phone with me straight after finishing your hosting, you were like, on fire, enthusiasm and just so excited about your business again. And you said it would be such a shot in the arm that it revived and refreshed your whole business, and that even one of your guests who hadn't joined yet, said she would love to come to a Sensi family reunion from your passion and enthusiasm. So I was so delighted to have you on the call today, because I think we just forget. I can see Susie QJ here just saying that she totally loved home hosting as well, that, you know, it just she had a ball, and it gave her a chance to feel that spirit, you know, to attend Sensi Family Reunion. So I see lots of people have joined, which is great. And that was, anyone was saying before, that was Sinead Davis, director from up in Townsville, Kayla. I love this. I'm seeing everybody's comments as we go. But anyway, I'll answer them later. I need to finish now, and I think it was just perfect amount of contributors. So the remaining contributors will be on the next call. And I'm going to make sure I get this shared and posted to the right pages. And also, I'm going to be working on volume. I know that it's a bit muffled using an old, you know, like a landline. I think it's just so funny because this is just so organic. I've got the laptop happening here with Lorena recording the call in true good quality audio. I'm waving to everybody even though I'm muted, and that's so funny as well. I think I'll move position so you don't have to see the same painting every time. Get to see my place. But at the same time, it's in Sydney at the moment. We were just dying here of the heat. The last few days, 40 degrees, and today it's been bucketing down, and my roof started to leak, and all sorts of things happened just before the call. It's now stopped raining, so there's a little bit of Sydney for you. I think you can see there the sky's grey, but my little balcony has lots of plants and greenery there. And here I am again. So I'm going to conclude the call with some recognition, because we didn't do that in the beginning. And I don't know if we have slides for it today, because I realised, of course, that January recognition has to be held off till the next round of calls, because it's not official yet. And I was raring to go and ready to go to give my top 10 in sales and sponsoring and so forth. Oh, Lorena's just telling me she does. So just a minute. Oh no, she doesn't. She doesn't. So that's okay. It's going to be just live. I've got my little list here. So I'm going to just do a shout out for the people that are off and running for the first week of the month. Well done to you. Hats off. And we'll come back to January outcomes next time. So I'm going to just give the top 10 of consultants around Australia, and then I'll do the top 10 of consultants around New Zealand, so everyone gets a fair shot at it, who are in activity and in their top 10 of sales. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate Yasmin Jezed, I think it is, from Victoria. And Jasmine, well done to you as our number one salesperson, followed by Anne Burke from Western Australia, Tamara Hartzman from the Canberra, ACT, Kelly Francis from Western Australia, Lisa Campbell from Western Australia, Erin McNaney from Queensland, Tracey Newton from Queensland, Sheree Reeves from Queensland, Sitai Ahmad from Western Australia, and Natasha Bezero from Victoria. My apologies for any mispronunciations. But again, well done. Those people are up and running our top 10 around Australia. Now for our top 10 around New Zealand. And, I was given some challenges this week for pronunciations. But Melbapa Suarez from Wellington. Well done. You are our number one salesperson for the first week of February. Followed by April Maker from Auckland. Lisa Davey from Auckland. Rose Joblin from Taranaki. Karen Vulu from Hawke's Bay. From Liane Heperi from Waikato. Jacqueline Swanson from Marlborough. Nicola Thompson from Wellington. Tanya Martin from Manawatu Wanganu. I love the Maori names. They're such a challenge from my tongue. I'm going to get it right. But that's more important is the name, Tanya Martin. And finally, Annie Cowles from Canterbury. And I might drill it down to you actually proper city names so that we get it. So that's just some top 10 in sales. In sponsoring, well, then I've only got a few names, because if you sponsored one person, I had like 50 names. So it was not fair to just pick the top one person, because there would have been tie in equal place for so many. But in Australia, we had two people that distinguished themselves from the rest, and that's Carly Bartle from Western Australia and Brianna Mitchell from New South Wales. You sponsored more than one person, and that is fantastic. So well done to you both. And in New Zealand, just one person distinguishing herself from the rest is Lisa Jamison, sponsoring more than one person. Well done to you, and I wish you a very successful month ahead. By the time we next connect, I will be able to give you the update on where you're at from a consultant point of view into the month of February. And we will continue on with our speakers from World Premiere. I know I'd like to have Mim Nikaj, Megan Manley, and I'm just trying to think who else couldn't be on the call, but I'll come to that. And anybody that would feel passionate, let me know. Love you to be on the All Consultant call in 2 weeks' time. So thank you for that. Well done to everybody and to our speakers, most importantly, and for just looking at my face if we didn't have a post that we could coordinate. So if you're a speaker and you want to do and you recorded your piece, please put it on the independent consultant page, and I'll put this one on as well. Thank you all, and thank you to Lorena for your wonderful contribution, and also to Chuck. Bye for now, everybody, and I'll finish the recording. All the best.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us on the call. I will post the recording to the director page here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and I will have the entire recording in the training center within 2 business days. Have a fabulous week. Next week, it's a director call, everybody. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.